Hey, Soul Legacy Lever, welcome to my spiritual journal. It's day, I think it was 54. It is environmental freedom in my world. Before I jump into this episode on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, I want to share with you that I am the host of the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, where I interview fellow YouTubers on their spiritual awakening story. And we have the spiritual ascension after show party and a spiritual alchemy giveaway. If you have a spiritual awakening story to share with the world and you'd love to be part of a co-author book series, that's my co-author book series. It's called the Soul Legacy Journal Spiritual Awakening Stories of 365. So you can email the team at submissions@soullegacyacademy.com. I will leave all of the information in the description and in the cards down below, and everything that I mention I will leave it in the description and the comment section as well. So I'll pin it in the comment section. So if you're new to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, do subscribe. If you find value in this video, please share it out. Invite a fellow light worker in to talk about freedom around your environment. So for this, the spiritual journal, and on the Soul Legacy TV, I talk about spiritual business success without being burnt out, without being broke, and without being busy. So I talk about your spiritual rituals and routines for our Soul Legacy Journal. So my Soul Legacy Journal notebook is called 365 Days of Your Spiritual Awakening Story, our spiritual awakening story, as I do my daily lives, daily vlogs on the Soul Legacy TV. Every single day I talk about a different area of your life, and today in my world, with my green t-shirt on, I will eventually have merch. It is environmental freedom. So I have quite a great episode. I think you'll love it. So this is I call it a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So if you want your Soul Legacy Journal, then you can get this one. It's a spiral bound notebook on Lulu. There's a blank one, a lined one, a grid dot one, and a graph one. And then you can get this one on Amazon, which is a blank one. I will have a lined one on there as well. All right, so let's dive into this episode for my spiritual journaling with me. If you are watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, then online teaching portal, then welcome. I do have the 7 Freedoms frequency call-in gym. It's a monthly call for my students, so be sure to jump on that. Other than that, let's dive in. So do you have a spiritual routine and ritual to support your spiritual business success? And have you really thought about journaling each area of your life? So area of your life again. So it is environmental freedom Thursdays. Every single Thursday, we'll talk about your environment, all of your environment, like just all of your environment, your local environment, universe, working online, offline, all the things. I'll talk about that in a second. This is one of the 7 freedoms that I talk about. So for my part of my spiritual rituals and routines, I have a crystal, a chakra crystal, and it's rose quartz today. I don't do anything with it other than before I go live, I'll just sit with it and meditate for a second and just have it in my space. I will pull a card from the Keepers of the Light. That's a really great one that jumped out today for us. I'll talk about gratitude and anything that is helping me to raise my vibration, then I have that for my spiritual journal. All right. So one of the things that we do in our spiritual journal for environmental freedom is have a rating. How do you feel about your environment? So our rating is between a 1 and an 11, how high vibe you feel, how connected with source or guidance. And so for me, I have an 11. So the abbreviation for Environmental Freedom Thursdays is EFT, right? So mine is 11. So let me know what yours is. If you're not familiar with my rating and environmental freedom or all of the freedoms that I talk about on the Soul Legacy TV, then I do have a spiritual vision board challenge, which explains having a vision for your light work and your lifestyle and how you want that to look and feel, where you want your environment to be while you work. Do you work in the world? Whether you want to travel while you teach, that's me. Whether you want to work online, build your spiritual business online, offline, retreats, me, all the things. I share with you what I want. You can share with me what you want, but not only for your light work, but for your lifestyle. So traveling, that's lifestyle as well. And where you're living in the world, your location, all of those things, travel bucket list, all the things that you might put on your vision board. I want to support you in manifesting that. So that's why we have the spiritual vision board. And then on the daily lives, we actually journal in our spiritual journal how we're doing. We check in, we thank the universe, say gratitude, set more intention, set goals, hold each other accountable, all of the things, right? And so my environment, I wanted to be on YouTube. I wanted to have a YouTube channel. Rather than being on all of the socials. I actually came off all of the socials, and actually I'm just focusing on YouTube and my YouTube podcast and my YouTube summit and my book, being an author and being on Amazon, all the things. That was the environment that I wanted to create. Let me know the environment that you want to create. So part of my spiritual routines and rituals that I share in the spiritual journal is I have a Momentum app, which I talk about every single day. I love it. On my Mac laptop, and it's just a free app, which is like a desktop browser. I don't think they do it for the mobile, but if they do, let me know, right? And it's like a screensaver, so it's kind of just a nice environment for your work. Shows you the time, so I always capture the times and the synchronicities of that. It has a screensaver of beautiful places, and then it has you have momentum on the one thing that you want to focus on that day, and then tasks and things. So that's just setting up my environment for my work environment. They do have a quote every single day, and the quote today was lit. So today's quote is a short and simple one from Todd Henry, and it says, "Don't allow your rituals to become ruts." Don't allow your rituals to become ruts. So I talk about on the Soul Legacy TV spiritual business success. You just saw my knee there. I've got my jammy shorts on because I'm at home working in my environment, right? I've got my ring light, and I just sit in my living room and do my work in the world. And when I'm traveling, I will do my daily lives. It's just beautiful. So don't allow your rituals to become your rut. So your spiritual business success, if you have rituals and routines, excuse me, that are not actually supporting you. So I never loved having routines and rituals, routines as such. I was just like, oh no, they're boring. It's like, it's not cool. It's not fun. I don't think I can commit to that. The stories that I tell in my head. And when I was with my ex of 7 years, he had such a predictable routine. Sorry if you ever watch this. He'll be cool. He had such a predictable routine. I was like, oh no, I know where you will be in like 10 years doing this thing, that thing. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse. But I came around to when I was in my twin flame union, he had his schedule for his work. Worked at the hospital. He had his schedule for 5 years. He said, I know my work schedule for 5 years. And I thought, wow, there's power in that. Not because I want to do a 9-to-5 job. It wasn't actually a 9-to-5 job, but not because I want to work for somebody else when I have my business. But as light workers, as spiritual business owners, oftentimes, excuse me, we don't necessarily set times and set schedules to work. Not that I want to do 9-to-5, or I'm telling you to. But I've scheduled out my spiritual business for the next 7 years because I know I want to show up, speak out, and serve deep on video and on camera. But I know when I want to and when I don't want to, and what I've committed to. So it's easier for me to make those decisions, my rituals and routines, and not then my ruts. They're supporting my vision in manifesting, in freeing up my mind in my organization. So for this environment, for on YouTube and sharing it out on the socials, right? So I say I'm not on the socials, meaning I'm not sitting there commenting on the socials and watching everybody's socials or anything like that anymore. And I always did it with a strategy anyway, and with systems. But because I have clarity on what environment I want to work in I have the confidence now to do camera, which I never always did, and do camera and not really prep, which I'll talk about in a second. And because I have a system around it, so I have systems and then there's strategies, and I'm able to just do that as my ritual and my routine as part of my Soul Legacy journal, me journaling and then sharing as a video, as my video content. I call it movement marketing because, like, why would you not? So I just love it. I love that my ritual and my routine and my environment supports me in just sitting here talking to you. Like, whenever you watch this, from the time that I've recorded it and gone live, and the reason why I go live in this environment, excuse me, is because I wanted to let go of perfection and perfectionism. I used to say that I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm totally recovered, I think. I'm recovered as a perfectionist because it's a self-sabotaging mechanism, and it doesn't support you. And part of that awakening for me, my spiritual awakening and launching my spiritual business and having that be a success for me, was understanding that I didn't have to be perfect. Actually, that social conditioning and that the old version of me versus the version of me that wanted to be online, stepping into my vision, I awakened to my soul calling, my soul purpose. And I've gone on this spiritual awakening journey, spiritual ascension, and alchemized it. And I realized that I can be where I want to be, when I want to be there, and just show up just as I am. Do you know what I mean? So let me know what you do for your light work, what environment you want to be in. I want to be traveling while I teach. We have an annual retreat in Thailand called I Am Diamond Made. It's a 5-star mastermind retreat in Thailand. 5 magical days in Thailand. I call it Soul Guided Millionaires in the Making. I had the download the other day to have a 7-star retreat. I know there's not really 7-star. Go work with me on it. A 7-star mastermind retreat in Dubai called Billionaires in the Making. Soul Guided Billionaires in the Making. I love that. I love having the vision of my life, of where I want to be, and including that in my work and writing it off as a business expense, like my lifestyle and my light work. So let me know if your environment and your rituals, your daily rituals and routines for your spiritual business actually support you. Write it down in your journal, write today's date, whenever it is for you, and set the intention. Do my vision board challenge, and it goes over like a year of what you want to create, where you want to live, where you want to work, where you want to travel to, what you want to experience in your environment, and start to take the steps. So I say that this is a spiritual journal, and spiritual journal prompts. I have lots of journal prompts for you in the Soul Legacy Academy if you're part of that. And we can do those prompts as in, what environment do you want to actually work in, be in on a daily basis? So I said that I had hardly any prep today. That's because I've been doing these lives for a really long time now. I pause occasionally, but I've been doing them and speaking and soul speaking into existence about my environmental freedom. And I had the vision to be on YouTube before I was on YouTube. So I did 200 daily lives on Facebook before I made the transition to YouTube. And I always knew that I wanted to be on YouTube. I had a couple of YouTube channels, but never really focused on YouTube and committed to doing it. And so now I couldn't think of anything worse than going on another social platform. Not to say that this will be here forever, I don't know. But right now, in this time, I've seen videos that are like 10 years old, 13 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going anywhere. But if it does, we've got a podcast. We've got the YouTube podcast, right? So we can have a podcast platform. So for those that want to listen, those that want to watch, those that want to read, I have transcripts of my podcast for my book, or for the book launch, and for my book, and for my courses and stuff like that. So do you resonate with being on YouTube as part of your light work and lifestyle? Let me know. I have the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, and I have a monthly call off the socials. It's the Spiritual Business YouTubers Network. It's for you to co-create, collaborate, and connect with like-minded joint vision partners. So people that have a joint vision. And so I love that. And I was listening to a book by Bob Proctor, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. So every day I listen to, as part of my spiritual journal, rituals and routines, I listen to an audible book or read a book. And today, which I recommend, and I'll leave all of the information, all of the books that I share in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. And in order to get into that community within my Thinkific site, that's my online teaching platform, that's my environment to teach. The community is for masterclass attendees. So you need to be part of the masterclass in order to be in there. And again, that was the environment. I didn't want to be in a Facebook group. I don't have any Facebook groups. I'm not part of any Facebook groups. I don't have any LinkedIn groups. I'm not part of any LinkedIn groups unless I'm doing I won't say I'm not part of any LinkedIn groups. I'm not active on any of the socials. I'm just not. I launch, lead and leave my soul legacy with ease, grace and flow every single day, and launching my day, leading my day, and leaving my day with my spiritual rituals and routines. My spiritual journal helps me to see what spiritual business success means for me. And that doesn't mean that my life is on the social media platforms. It just doesn't. It means I'm showing up for you. I'm on my calls. Excuse me. And I'm inviting you to come off the socials and get on a monthly call. It's on the first Monday of the month at 9 p.m. UK time. Every single month, 12 times in the year, for networking for you. So if you have a big vision and mission and you are kind of a little bit drained being on the socials, not say you want to come off them altogether, but you know, when you really want to focus, then I'd love to have you on the call with us each month, because why would you not? It's like we get distracted sometimes by our environment. And so I was doing a recording before I came on for the Soul Legacy Academy. It was actually for my boot camp, for a welcome video. And that video, once I've recorded it, well, I've recorded it, it's uploading. It's there in that environment, my student online training portal, forever. I know many people that come to me who want to write their book, who want to have a podcast, who want to have a course, want to be in these different environments for whatever reason, your soul calling, your soul purpose, and don't know the hows. And once you do know how, it frees you up to not do that 9-to-5 job, not do that soul-sucking day job, not run by somebody else's schedule. I don't believe in just trading time for money, doing a 9-to-5 job. So today, I was sharing on my recording that day 50 of this spiritual journal with me. I ran an ad. I think it's a day, it might be 2 days old. I don't know. I've got to go track it. Because I teach ads, YouTube ads, in my mastermind, right? And so for my 5-day YouTube challenge, it's a self-study challenge. I teach how to set up your YouTube channel to have that spiritual business success, and to launch your podcast and stuff with it. And then in the boot camp, it's the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint, author and authority program and mastermind. And so that's showing you how to be a #1 bestseller, being on Amazon and being on YouTube, running Amazon ads. We do that in the mastermind, and running YouTube ads. We do that in the mastermind. And so I talk about for the Soul Legacy Journal. So this is a quote, if you don't know. Your soul legacy is the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, if you don't know that as well. Your soul legacy is every life. This is my journal. Every life you impact, influence, and impress upon, and every soul client, soul family, and soul tribe you touch, because soul expansion begins with you. So your environment and who you reach, your soul tribe, matters, right? And your soul tribe are on YouTube. People say, oh, you know, all of my clients will be on Facebook. That was the thing that everybody said, but it's draining, and I don't even know what's happening with this meta thing, right? And so for me, running my day 50 of this spiritual journal, and I'll talk about it in the mastermind, when I was doing my recording and I was showing the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast as my environment, right, the actual channel and all of the playlists and all the things, and that video was getting 7 views in an hour. Now I build the spiritual the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, and it's early days. I teach you how to do it from scratch. It's early days for me. I've set a vision for 7 years to be in this space, to be in this environment, to have that freedom, to have my videos working for me every single day. So let me know when you're watching this, right? And give it a thumbs up and share it out and all things. And so, and subscribe, right? So when I go live on a daily basis, and I'll still be going live. And so I realized that, you know, your videos can work for you, but when you do an ad, a YouTube ad, they've got so many beautiful ways. If you've never done a YouTube ad, a lot of people, when I mention it, people go, yeah, I've heard, and I'm exploring it, and I will dominate the YouTube ads. And so that's my intention. And so the point being is that I can target my videos. So you might just upload a video on YouTube and thought, oh, well, I'll just build my channel that way. And organic is great. But sitting there waiting for the YouTube algorithm, I kind of didn't want to leave everything to guesswork and to all trial and error. And so I have certain softwares and certain things that help me and support me in doing the ads and doing the behind the scenes stuff. And I did set up this ad a day ago, maybe a couple of days ago, probably. And to see it getting those 7 views per hour, now I can pay more and stuff. I'm testing it. I only set $20 for the week or what have you, to see where I need to tweak it, how it's getting out. But I've got subscribers from that. So the point being is, on the other socials, the other environments like Facebook, I did my 200 lives, and then they had an outage, and I was like, what? So I couldn't even go live. I was pissed about it. I'm like, really? Not like angry, just as in disappointed as well. Like 200 lives every single day, and then almost 200, and then it's like, I can't do it. I'm like, I'm done. So I knew I was done, and so it did me a favor, because now I'm here. Point being, when I've run the ad, the YouTube ad, to my spiritual journal, I can run it in front of my, what I call my STAP, my Soul Tribe avatar persona or profile. You've heard of an ideal client avatar, right? Well, this ad is now running in front of, I work with men and women, but when you do an ad, you want to specify. So it's running in front of women. I can run it in front of men as well. I'm not saying, I'm just giving an example of a stat. Sarah Jane is my Soul Tribe avatar profile. And I've done the age. And so I know that my YouTube channel subscribers, if I run more ads like that, will be of a certain age. I'm 40. How old am I? 48, going to be 49 in August 2022. And so I'm 50 next year, right? And so I know the location, I know what they're watching, I know either the video that they're watching. For this particular ad, it was for keywords, and it was about journaling. And I know that they're in business. I know that they've recently created a business, or they've recently created a business or started a business, right? So and they're looking for spiritual things, looking for a spiritual journal. On Facebook, on any other platform, you cannot do that. You can't do that like the way that you can do it with YouTube ads. So that when I teach you to build your spiritual YouTube channel and have spiritual business success, and when you're thinking, I don't know the environments that my soul tribe are hanging out, my soul clients, my high paying soul clients, right? I teach you to create that soul client funnel formula, but get in front of the people that you are here to serve. I'm super excited to see where the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast goes over the next 7 years, right? And to do that and to set that intention, I'm super excited about that I'm able to find an environment where my tribe are hanging out and just get in front of them, like shortcut the whole stuff. So welcome, right? So oh, hang on. The card that I'm going to pull that in a second. This is a really nice card, to stay with me. Bob Proctor was talking about in the book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, about Sandy Gallagher's business partner, the late Bob Proctor. So again, leaving legacy. So I actually walked to the shop listening to this Audible book, and he was saying that his business partner, Sandy Gallagher, teaches visioneering. So just visualizing and believing, having the going from that fear to faith, the vibration of believing what it is that you want to create in your environment, in your world. You've got to see it to believe it, right? So if your environment is not really supporting you to visualize or do the vision board challenge, but your immediate environment, your body, and what you believe, where you're what frequency you're vibrating at, how you're fueling your body, fueling your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, your environment starts internally first, right? And then you experience the world through that lens. And I say it's the lens of your soul. So when you get clear and clear the energy, clear the thoughts and the beliefs, then you create your reality, you create your environment. I love it. Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life is just such a beautiful book. He mentions a lot of things. It's just beautiful. So, and he says, he's being interviewed actually in the book. And at the end of the interview, the guy says, you know, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? And it's absolutely like this legacy. Bob Proctor has a YouTube channel, right? And all of his students and all the people. And he said, I want people to remember me for being a great student. So are you a great student? If you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, are you a great student, right? And I can't remember the person that had interviewed him, the name, so that escapes me, forgive me. But he says, you're a great teacher as well. And I was, they got a chance to work together, being influenced by Earl Nightingale and the Nightingale Conan. I remember that being really popular way back when. And he's left that legacy. He said, you know, I'd love for this to touch the people that it needs to touch and make a difference for them. Well, that's the late Bob Proctor, right? And I'm listening to his voice and on the way to the shops. And it's huge to be able to create a book, read a book, write a book, your legacy, being part of the Soul Legacy Journal and the Spiritual Awakening Stories of 365. That's that legacy that we get to leave. We get to experience a certain thing and then pass that down as a legacy. I'm so excited about that. We have the co-author book series launching on the 6th of May. And again, if you want to share your spiritual awakening story, become a co-author, become part of that story that you're telling, that environment for other people, then email submissions at SoulLegacyAcademy.com. I'm excited. I am gifting one page to Bootcampers. So if you're a bootcamper, you'll get one page in the book gifted if you're a soul match, and my Masterminders up to 5 pages in the book. The reason why I do that is because I want to support you in your own spiritual business success, your own author and your authority platform, getting into the environments, TV, articles, radio, blogs, summits, whatever it is, wherever it is that you want to be on the World Wide Web or offline, building your spiritual business retreat, all the things. So with that said, I'm going to talk about gratitude in a second, and then I'm going to wrap up with this card. So on my daily lives, I was saying that I didn't do much prep. I actually walked to the shop to get some food to fuel my body. I'm fasting. I do fasting. I'm eating very intentionally. Talk about intentional living. And environmental freedom is just one of the freedoms. I don't know if I mentioned all the freedoms that I talk about on the Soul Legacy TV, but on Mondays, I talk about your contribution freedom. On Tuesdays, I talk about your health freedom. On Wednesdays, I talk about your emotional freedom. Environmental freedom is Thursdays. Relationship freedom is Fridays. Spiritual freedom is Saturday, and financial freedom is Sunday. So I bring all of that. That for me is my spiritual business success. That is what I use in my spiritual journal to hold me accountable for. So I went to go to the shops to fuel my body and get the food and stuff. And that environment, it's not that far from me. Sometimes when I'm on a call and the environments that people are in all over the world, we all live in different environments, whether our home, whether our local environment, whether our the national, international, working globally, universally, we're all connected, but the environment looks and feels very different. So I walk to the shop. So you might drive to the shop. I'm not driving at the moment by choice. And I got there and my card, I didn't have my card. And I was like, oh my, the woman was beautiful. She put all my shopping in a bag for me. I walked back home and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've got my live. And I thought, no, I percolated. I listened to or proctor when I was walking, and I got the ideas for this live, and I went back and I paid for my avocados and my gut health, my Actimel, and I paid for, I got some free range eggs, and I got some tuna. I eat pescatarian. I used to eat plant-based, but I eat pescatarian. That suits my body more. And I got on the scales today, and I usually get on Health Freedom Tuesdays, but I didn't. I got on today because I could feel I'd released. I'd got my intention, and my environment to exercise is out. I have fields where I am, so I do my runs each day. Where I exercise, I do my insanity workout or home workout. You might go to the gym. What spiritual business success means to you is setting a vision to do your work in the world, then looking after you, having your emotions be high vibe, even if the environments that you are in don't feel that good. So I did my walk, and I'm not walking or running today. It's a day of rest, more so a day of recording as well. But it was just beautiful, and I thought, I feel so blessed, because before I did have to go out and get a soul-sucking day job. I've been self-employed for years. I cleaned homes. I went into other people's environments when I came offline to help and heal myself first, a year after my son passed, Anna Samuel Mead. And I was cleaning, and people were like, "Are you going to do that? Like you?" I'm like, absolutely. I didn't want to think of anything. I just was self-employed. I worked for an agency. I was just doing my thing. And I did really well. I cleared other people's environments. It was really therapeutic. I did that all day long. And I met some really amazing people in their environment. And I wanted them to have the experience of saying, when they got home from work, from doing their stuff. Some people work from home, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful journey. I by the end of like 3.5 years, I'm like, I'm done. I want to work online. But I had the vision of being here, not literally doing daily lives on YouTube, but the vision of reaching you when I was doing that soul-sucking day job. Although it didn't really feel soul-sucking, I made it fuel my soul. I put my head, I was fueling. I was listening to books. I was listening to myself, my own teachings. I was mapping out and planning. So when I talk about building your author and your authority platform and the books that I'm sharing, is because that's what helped me. My vision was the thing that helped me keep going, keep going, keep going. And my journaling, I've journaled for like 10 years. That was the thing that helped me keep going, keep going, keep going. I journaled in an app called Penzu, and it still brings up my journaling from like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, right? It's beautiful. I will have a journaling app. And I do have another channel, YouTube channel, called Spiritual Dating, Awakened Soulmates Marriage CV, because I'm on that journey myself. And so I wanted to do my work in the world, and the relationships that I'd been in, and I talk about this on Relationship Freedom Friday, but the relationships that I'd been in, the last relationship that I'd been in at the time of recording, with my twin flame, I envisioned myself having that connection, having conversations, having the communication with him, which I'll talk about on this Spiritual Dating TV. But the last piece was the commitment. We had the commitment, but I wanted to be married, so we never got married. And I wanted to have my calling, with my soulmate, with my twin flame. But I realized that that wasn't going to happen. The awakening that I had through that was, okay, I want to be in that soulmate relationship and have my calling, have that commitment and that conversation and that communication and that connection, but not leave out my calling. Oftentimes we'd have conversations and he'd say, what from my soul calling, my purpose, my business, it's like that seems to come as a priority, but that's the calling on my soul. And I didn't make it a priority and run off with it like I had done before in other relationships, when I felt like I had to cocoon it. But I was like, I want to travel with my husband. I want to see the world with my husband on a daily basis, and that doesn't involve working a 9 to 5 or working for somebody else, right? I said, he had that schedule for 5 years. It's like, I know he knew when he was going to work, all the rest of it. And I was like, I don't fit into that model. And just as an entrepreneur, we don't fit in working for somebody else, and we fit into freedom. I'm talking about environmental freedom, the freedom to choose, the vision of freedom, the value of freedom, and the vibration of freedom. So I had to end that relationship, which sounds like that's a little bit crazy, but it was the way that I launched my day, led my day, and left my day. Who you're around really does matter. And we'll dive into the relationships. Who you're around is supporting you in your environment. So I was spending my days, obviously, at one point we lived together and then we didn't. And he had to have his environment where he was going back to his children. They lived like an hour away. It just didn't, the environment was massive. And so that light work and that lifestyle balance, he worked away from home like an hour at first and then like 20 minutes, took its toll. Like the freedom to work in the environment that you want to work in. He worked nights, all the things. Like I was in the bed on my own. I'm like, that's not the life that I envisioned. It wasn't in alignment and integrity with my soul and my calling. And I was like, I think I can create a new vision for me. And I did, and I have, and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for my husband, right? I'm so grateful for my soulmate and all the things in advance, right? I'm going to pull this card. So that brings me into gratitude. So I say gratitude with this is a love heart shaped rock, and my daughter gave me it years ago. I used to say gratitude for my children every single day, and we'd pass the stone around to say gratitude. So if you want to do that, it's beautiful. And I've done it with my twin flame and my soulmate relationship. So and I will always do it. And so when I say gratitude for the 7 freedoms, what I call intentional living, it's about the vision that you have being in vibrational alignment and being in alignment with your values. And so my values was for my environment was to be efficient and to be organized, and just to I've got different values for different areas of my life, and it just wasn't it just wasn't in alignment. So I say gratitude for each area of my life, and I say I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate. And my ex of my soulmate, the one that triggers you, like, because you can have soulmates that are like peaceful, joyful. You can have ones that trigger you. So sorry, but he did. And he knows anyway, if he watches this, it doesn't trigger me now, we talk. But he did say to me not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, that when he was in a new relationship, and the person that he was with was like a bit miffed, like, oh, because he's like, Iona taught me this. And I'm like, did I really? Because at the time it didn't seem like we used to do it, but I didn't think he'd take it away. But he has. He's taken away a lot of things, he said, and which is really nice. And he said that he said, you know, he says gratitude now every single day and all the things. And I'm just like, oh wow. So we say gratitude for your contribution, how you want to contribute. Say gratitude, I say I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate things in the past, things in the present, and things in advance. So I was happy and grateful and appreciate how I'm able to contribute now, not only in my light work, but my lifestyle, like in the relationships that I've had, like leaving that legacy, and people coming back to me and saying, you know, you really made a difference. And I'm like, really? How? I'm just being me. So I'm really grateful for the Think of Excite and being able to record a video, upload it, put it in there, and knowing how to do that is just like huge. Creating that as my environment, creating that as my space for my soul tribe, for my students, without being on the socials, being able to have Thinkific as my online training portal is lit. I say for my health, what I'm grateful for. I won't bore you with all of that, but you can do as your spiritual journal prompts. What are you grateful for every single day? So running, the air that I breathed when I am doing my running every day, the fact that I've got clean air, less polluted than some places, like a big smog in some places, right? Really grateful for that. And just feeling that capacity in my lungs, and just, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for emotional freedom, for love, peace, joy, and calm. I woke up, in fact, I went to bed listening on my run yesterday. There was a beautiful song. I can't remember what it's called. Can't remember what it's called. Go out of my head. It's beautiful. And I shared it with some people, and somebody shared a song back. And so I'm doing the whole spiritual dating. So I will say it's somebody that I'm talking to, because he might watch this at one point. And he sent me a song back, and the song is beautiful. And I was dancing to both of the songs before I went to sleep last night. I listened to them. I was like, just lit, going to sleep in that environment, just basking. I've got mirrors in front of my bed, like on my wardrobe, and I'm just dancing, just enjoying me, right? Being me. I'm just dancing like you do. Let me know if you dance around the house. And then I could feel my body had been changing from my routine, from my run. I was walking and I decided to run this week, really go for it. And I released, for my health freedom, I released the pound. I knew I did. So I'd got on the scale today, although I had said I'm not going to do that until once a week, but I just felt it. So I was 8 stone 5. The goal is to be 8 stone. I'm like, yes. I was 9 stone 4 when I went on the journey, when I did my spiritual vision board. So I'm really excited about that, fueling my body. And this morning when I woke up, I was still dancing, and I put my bikini on. So my vision is to be on the on the beach in Thailand on our retreat in my bikini, doing my work in the world, doing the things, rubbing nut and I, like, yes, lit, you know. So I'm visualizing just waking up and just dancing and just trying on, you know, when the clothes then fit you and you're in your wardrobe in that environment, doing all the things. And I can share that with you because I'm sure that you've probably done it yourself. So really grateful for that calm and that love and that peace and that joy, that it's not just for the lives, right? So my environment, going to the shops, the lady being so beautiful, putting all of my stuff in the bag because I'd forgotten my cash point card. I'm like, I hope it works because they've sent me a new one. I don't want the new one because it knocks off all of the things that I've got running or on automation. I'm like, you're messing up my automation. Super happy and grateful that the shop is really close and people say hello, and it's just really calm without masks. I'm just saying, because we know that the world and the environment kind of got a little bit crazy for a while. My relationships, I'm happy and I'm grateful, and I appreciate my husband. I was dancing with my husband in my living room yesterday when I came back on my run. When I was on my run, I was like dancing. People think I'm crazy. I don't care. I run to my tree and back. It's just beautiful. And yeah, it was just lovely. And so I was dancing with my husband. And if you know, I'm not married. I have been married. I got happily divorced. So I was dancing with my husband. He doesn't know yet, but I was dancing with him and just basking and loving his energy and just feeling his arms around me and just feeling the dance. Do you know what I mean? It's like in the privacy of my own home, I can do what I like. So relationships with myself, my relationship is just beautiful. I love my own company, but I love coming and speaking to you. I love my lead soul guided instructor. I've got beautiful relationships around me. My environment, having calls more so now. I used to be on the phone for hours. I had a 2-hour call with my soul sister. We grew up together. We're holding each other accountable for our weight releasing, and it's just beautiful. It's like, yes. Loving Signal, Telegram, not on WhatsApp, not on that stuff anymore. Since the outage, I was just like, I'm done with giving that platform power and control. You know the platform that I mean. And people are telling me, my daughter said, Mum, you should be on TikTok. Mum, you shouldn't. I'm like, nope. People said, you should be on Clubhouse. I'm like, no. I've scheduled out my business for the next 7 years. I want this video to be just as relevant in 7 years' time as it is when I'm going live. So therefore, the Soul Legacy Academy, you can grab my book, my free chapter of my book, Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a Soul Guided Influencer's Compass to Leveraging Your Light Work and Lifestyle on YouTube. Download the free chapter. The free chapter comes with a VIP day to show you how to start, structure, and grow your spiritual business online, a successful spiritual business with a spiritual book launch on YouTube with a successful #1 best-selling book launch. That is there. I will do that every 50 days. That's my online calendar. I'm not pointing you to another social media platform. I'm saying have a conversation with me. Sign up for my masterclass. That's like free, and it's a 4-hour training, and there's an automated version of it, and then there's bonuses for it. And then, do you know what I mean? 7 years, whenever you watch this, that will still be relevant. I don't know what will happen with all of the other platforms. And I'm not saying come and join me on Insta, come and join me on TikTok, come and join me in Clubhouse. Because once upon a time, Periscope was lit. When I was doing Hangouts, they were lit. I paid 1K to learn how to do Hangouts. Don't even exist. Periscope was a new thing. Oh, what is that called? Blab was a thing, right? No, they don't. Do you remember them? Don't even exist. So no, I don't need to be on all of the environments and trying to push and pull myself everywhere. I have a spiritual business in the Think If Excite. It's my online teaching platform. We have a community in there. Every single course that I have, we have a community in there. Come and join me. Get off the social anyway. It's not serving you. Spiritual freedom, there's me building relationships, happy and grateful, and appreciate the relationships that I'm able to build. When I'm off on a tangent. Spiritual freedom, soulmates. That's all I'm saying. Soulmates, soul clients, soul students, soul tribe. Really connected, loving it. Thank you, universe, guidance. Financial freedom. I have no worries. I have no financial worries. It's beautiful. Banking 50K in 50 days. We're going to do it vibrationally in a second. Right, that's gratitude. I'm going to pull the card in just a second. Before I do, now I'll pull the card and then I'll do the money voucher. How about that? Give your brain just a second. So I pulled this card. It was a jumper for us today. This is, I'm sure you recognize, Master Jesus. The card is forgiveness. And I'll read it out. So you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. Is that relevant for you? Father healing is for me the lineage for the male figures in my life, absent and missing, basically. Absent and missing, and it's followed down generations. My son's passed. I have my granddaughter. He has a daughter. He's not able to be here for his daughter. My father, my dad was present for me, but we didn't live together. I moved away. We moved away as a family. We split. But my biological father wasn't there as much as he could be. Right, father healing. I know that this is about that. And so my mum's mum, I don't know if she'll mind me saying or not, but wasn't really there. She knew who he was. I don't know how far it goes, but that ancestry, the karma, the lineage, whatever it is, breaking the cycle. Right. So whatever your story is, let me know. All right. So a man who needs no introduction through both the Gospels, I can't say that word, we have come to know Jesus as a great teacher, loving guide, and generous soul. Hold it here. My face. A soul who accepts us all. Although he is the focal point of Christianity, he will respond to anyone who reaches out to him. He helps us overcome sacrificial love. That touched me today. Sacrificial love. When we have to leave behind something in order to get the love we want. And it resonated with me when I was saying about my twin flame union. And it's like, I don't want to have to feel like I have to. We have compromises, but when it's your whole life, what your vision, I don't mind pausing, I don't mind waiting. And I'm like, no, I need to change this vision for me to fuel me. And there's many different things that came up with this twin flame. I laugh because it's like, it's painful that we called them growing pains. We grew because of them, but it was painful. It's painful, but beautiful at the same time. And I'm still growing because of that, right? But there's forgiveness in that, right? It's that love and light and that forgiveness. Not because there was like real horrible exchange or what have you, but we tried to have an ending that was really healthy. It was healthy on my end in the end, but not as healthy from his end, and not as healthy as I believe that he would have wanted it either from when the union. But it came to that cycle that absolutely closed the loop in a beautiful way for me. And that's all we need. And probably in a beautiful way for him. I don't know, I've not asked him. Although, so when we have that sacrificial love, when we have to leave behind something in order to get what we want, he also is the light keeper who will call on support. We can call on for support with forgiveness, doing that today, just releasing it and letting it go and moving on. He reminds us that our connection to love is the most important connection we will ever create. Excuse me. His twin flame is Mary Magdalene. So energy is moving for me. And I am so grateful for my twin flame union, because all of this was birthed in an even more beautiful way that I couldn't have done it had I not been in that, because that was part of this awakening. And I will share a spiritual awakening short story, I'm sure, in one of the co-author book series, because it's been epic. It's been an epic journey. It's been long, but it's been beautiful. And it's taken one of patience and forgiveness for myself, all the things. I'm really, really, really grateful. I wouldn't be showing up, speaking out, and serving deep without it. So the extended message is: forgiveness is the act of self-love. Can I get an amen? Robin Nat, of the Energy Healing TV, our lead soul guided instructor, talks about self-love, and she has a self-love movement and self-care and clearing your chakras of the energy, the lineage, the karma, the thoughts, the feelings, the things that have been passed down environmentally, right? All the things. So Robin Nat, if you haven't subscribed to her channel, the Energy Healing TV podcast, then do so. She talks about clearing the chakras. So it's let me see, the chakra today that she'll be talking about Thursdays, it's heart chakra. And I have the chakra crystal, the rose quartz. I just have that. I did a little bit of meditation and Ho'oponopono before I came on live. But that opening of our heart, right? The heart chakra. So she does heart chakra clearing Thursdays, and that clearing and that healing and all of the beautiful things. She has a monthly energy, collective energy clearing call. So just clear that as all this forgiveness and all the things. So Robin has a 5-day money blocks clearing challenge. And she calls that a self-love journey to financial freedom. And I'll talk about the money voucher in just a second. So forgiveness is an act of self-love. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are being encouraged to know whatever you have done to yourself and to others, or what they've done to you, whichever way around, both. The divine is not condemning you. You do not have to forget what has happened, but you no longer need to allow your whole story to be defined by a situation that does not support your happiness. And one of the keepers of the light cards reminds me of my son, and it says your purpose is happiness, and that is it. Just be happy and joyful. All right, so let me keep going. Jesus is here to bring miraculous shifts of healing to you and all those around you. Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen in the comments, right? So thank you, Jesus. And to all those around you, to release you from the burden of self-loathing. Now, in my union, I didn't feel safe to have the body that I have. Like, I have a pretty lit body, right? I'm in good shape. I'm 48, nearly 49. We'll be 50 next year. I've looked after my body. And a comment that he made, which was an innocent comment, but more about himself, was, I said in the mirror, like we know as spiritual growth and stuff, he wasn't aware of those things. He is now, and he made peace with it. I've made peace with it. But he said, that could be considered arrogant, like my overconfidence. Some people think that when you're confident, you're arrogant. So people could perceive that as that, not that he was calling me that. And it went into my subconscious mind, and I had a barrier, and I put on weight as that protection, not consciously, subconsciously. And when we surrendered our relationship, and we actually ended our relationship a year ago, I released the weight, and all of my stuff fit me. I was like, wow. Then we got back together. He came back and asked for that forgiveness, and I was like, oh, forgiveness is actually a thing. And I had to learn forgiveness. That was a beautiful process. So that started that then, and I'm glad. And so we tried again, didn't work, but I had more weight then, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I released it on New Year's Eve. I was like, I'm not going into 2022 like that. And I've just come back to, I'm a pound off, I think, maybe a pound, maybe 2, maybe, from what I was 4 years ago when we met. Just has taken me like 5 months to go back into that releasing of the clearing. And Robin Knott's Energy Healing TV and that energy healing lifestyle helped me see those thoughts and those feelings. I knew that I still had some residual. I've always been open and honest with him. about that, and I said, you know what, that's your stuff. And it turns out it was his stuff, like that confidence. Some people don't like confidence. I teach clarity, confidence, systems and strategies. Let me know if, like, when you feel like you're confident, people are like, want to shoot you down for it. Do you know what I mean? It was just a story. It wasn't intentional, it wasn't anything like that. But it's just that we end up internalizing those things and holding the story, and then that manifests on the physical plane. So I just wanted to share that, because that was part of my, so I said, I woke up, I went to bed and I was dancing, and I woke up, I was dancing. That's me. That's me. Wasn't always me. When I was younger, I didn't go to the beach. Now I want to be in a bikini in the beach. When I was younger, somebody had said something to me. I was wearing shorts. I've never been over 6 stone over the age of 20. And until I had my son. And I put on half a stone when I went to go see my sister out in Germany. She cooked American food, not being rude, but like I put on weight like in 2.5 months. I was like, yes, found myself for my son, etc. And I didn't want to go on the beach. I was hiding. One of my best friends, she'll tell you, we went to Lanzarote when my son was like 1.5, and I didn't own a bikini. I had full clothes on in this bikini. I was so thin. I was 7 stone, I think. Just so thin and painfully thin. My body, my self-image, right, it was low. And I went on a mission when I met my soulmate, and we were together for 7.5 years, to lose all of the inhibitions that I had, all of that stuff. And I did. And then when I came into my union, twin flame union, just a comment, it can send you back. It can knock your confidence. Not that it's intended, but it can. So who you surround yourself, the people that you surround yourself, it matters what they say, their own level of confidence, their own level of self-love, right? So I grew. That was my awakening, and I'm good now, just so you know. So it's self-love. So hang on, let me see where I got to, and then I'll wrap this up with my vibrational money voucher. Okay, geez, so it doesn't define the situation that doesn't support your happiness. Jesus is here to bring miraculous shifts of healing to those around you. So you release the burden of self-loving. He wants you to know that he sees the child of God within you. He also brings clarity and healing to any situations concerning your Father, either on earth or in heaven. And so all the stuff that we go through in relationships, we know that that's that inner child stuff and all the things. So that, with that said, the Soul Legacy Journal, let's wrap up the Environmental Freedom Thursday. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. It's been an inspiration for your spiritual journal and your spiritual business success. I'm here to support you every single Thursday. Let me know, set an intention to clear up your environment, declutter it, do whatever you need to do, work in the environment that you want to work in, what have you. So the Soul Legacy Journal is a magical journal, and every single day I give you the Soul Legacy Journal gives you in vibrational money, not in real money, right? Vibrational money. So let me know if you've been playing the Soul Income game with me. It's called Bank 50K, Soul Income Game, Bank 50K in 50 days. I talk about it on my masterclass. It is the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass, Bank 50K in 50 days. We build the spiritual business model in the visible world for you to handle that 50K in 50 days without being busy, without being broke, without being burnt out, building your spiritual business and your soul signature system. And then we do it in the vibrational world here every single day. And so you have £1,000, dollars or euros, and it gives you that. And so you get to spend that vibrational money every single day. Note down in your spiritual journal, energy's moving, what it is that you want to spend it on. If you do the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge, which I'll leave in the cards and in the description, then you'll be clear on what it is that you want to experience, and then you can spend your vibrational money voucher on that. So if you are part of the Soul Legacy Academy, great. If you want to be a co-author in the Spiritual Awakening co-author book series, and it's for Bootcampers, which is $555. If you don't have that level to invest, it's $111 on a 5-month payment plan. You can split the cost with the Soul Accountability Body if you pay in full for $250. But if you don't have that, Spend this vibrational money and visualize working with me if that resonates with you, or my $55 challenge, or you can put towards the 5,555 mastermind, right? So by the end of the week, I will have gifted you $7,000. So every day you get $1,000 to spend on your experiences, making memories with your soul clients, your soul family, and your soul tribe. And if there's something that you've wanted to purchase, somewhere that you've wanted to go, somewhere that you've wanted to travel to, whatever it is, your environmental freedom, your health freedom, your emotional freedom, whether you want a personal trainer or a window cleaner or a cleaner in your house or a nanny or a chef or whatever, right? Spend it. If you want to buy an RV like Robin Knott does, whatever it is, spend the vibrational money voucher. If you don't want to spend it every single day, tithe 10%, which is 100 of the 1,000, to a worthy cause. So you're not thinking of yourself as a greedy person. Rich people are greedy and all the things. The banking 50k in 50 days. Who you be vibrationally will be who you be in the visible world with your money. How you're managing it. Let the universe know that you're ready, right? So tithe 10% to a worthy cause. I tithe 10% to Cruise Bereavement Care every single day, and they supported me. Ruth came to support me. She sat on my couch for months with me to support me when my son made his transition. And so I tithe 10%. And if you want to support that cause, then in the masterclass, I do share that. I don't think it's in the community. It's in the masterclass bonuses and my granddaughter's fund as well, Brooklyn. So that's my son's daughter. So when my son made his transition, I got that help, right? So that's my worthy cause. And so every single day I don't spend my vibrational money voucher because I didn't want it to feel like a chore. But on Sunday, I will share what I spend my vibrational money voucher. So I do it with you, right? And so we don't get to spend it on bills because I want you to come from the vibration. It's your bills already paid. No money worries there, right? Be that light worker, that successful spiritual business owner. Feel the vibration of that. What would you feel like? What would your environment look like if you had 7k of soul client income coming in this week? Would it look very different? Like when people go, I want to have 1 million. Do you know how much it is to earn 1 million, right? Each month it's 84,000 pounds, dollars, or euros, wherever you are in a month. 84, 83, whatever it is, right? 83,000. So bank 50k in 50 days is doable. Do it vibrationally. Let me know. Come to the 7 Freedoms frequency. Call in Jim if you are a masterminder or a boot camper. You get that gifted. It's $77 a month to support you in your light work and your lifestyle balance. That is a wrap. I've loved supporting you. I have my book launch videos, which you'll see about now. I have the subscribe button to the Soul Legacy TV. You'll also see the spiritual biz, the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, where I interview fellow spiritual YouTubers, gurus, leaders, soul-guided influencers on YouTube today about their spiritual awakening story. The season runs on the Soul Legacy TV October through to April on the 2 middle Wednesdays of the month, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. live on the Soul Legacy TV. I love you. Peace out. I shall see you on the next video. Mwah. Big love.